Conway Show. What is that?
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, all right. I thought something happened to you in there. A guy that I think used to be on opposite of us and also used to host Monday Night Football. And he was also on the Bill O'Reilly Show for a long time until Bill O'Reilly left the building. And he's with us. Dennis Miller, how are you, sir?
Timmy Conway, I was just sitting here thinking, how nice to walk around with such a sweet genius's moniker. How blessed you are.
Well, I appreciate that. You know what? That's true. I mean, I've never met anybody in the 54 years or 44 years, whatever bio you buy. I've never met anybody that said, "Oh man, your dad was a huge a-hole."
No, he seemed like the sweetest guy, and who made me laugh harder? I'd have to rack my brain for the next 100 years to think of somebody.
Well, it's very nice for you to say that. I will pass that along to him. He's a big fan. Well, he was on Bill O'Reilly, quite a few times, and he would never miss that show. If you and by the way, my dad's old school, where he doesn't DVR it or tape it. He's got to get home and be in front of the TV to watch it.
Well, I've been watching your father since Lester Gruber ran the floating crap game out of Saratoga, New Caledonia.
We used to play quotes of yours from Monday Night Football, and then ask Malibu Dan what he thought you meant, and he never got it right.
I remember one night saying to Fauci, and I won't use the word here, but we're on the air, and Chris Carter's hurt his ankle, and they're wrapping it in an ace bandage. And on the air, I say to Al, Al, I haven't seen that much fabric used since the environmental artist Christo wrapped the Pont Neuf Bridge in Paris. And I remember Al hits the sneeze button. You have one. Cuts the voice out to the home viewer. He looks at me in the booth. He says, "What the F are you talking about?" And Don Ohlmeyer, who's our producer and fancies himself an art aficionado, he's in the truck. On the earphones, I hear him say, "No, Al, Christo, environmental artist, solid reference. That's a solid reference. Thursday, let's go."
That's so great. That's so awesome.
Surreal.
Hey, wasn't Don Ohlmeyer, wasn't that the guy that ended up firing Norm Macdonald from Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, he whacked Norm.
Wow.
Omi was a rough, he had sharp elbows. I dug him because we had fun together, but he was one of those cats. By the way, when OJ came back to pitch they finally ran that interview, and he had to come out to L.A. and do a little press a couple weeks ago, and he was greeted at LAX by cries of murderer, murderer.
Ooh, wow.
Turns out he wasn't being heckled, Tim. It was just his limo driver trying to hook up with him. So anyway, Ohlmeyer, believe it or not, was... And by the way, congrats to OJ, named Uber's driver of the month today. But Ohlmeyer and OJ were tight, and he actually whacked a certifiable modern comic genius in Norm Macdonald, whacked him over that. So who knows? Showbiz is weird.
Jay Leno, who I know you know very well, and David Letterman, George Carlin, and a few other comics. I think you're in the same pool. They consider Norm Macdonald to be one of the funniest, if not the funniest man in Hollywood.
Yeah, Norm's a flat-out genius, but here's a weird, fun, sweet fly-on-the-wall story. My brother's son went to school down in, I think it was called Windward, and I went to the graduation ceremony when he was a senior, and Norm's son was in the same class. And I have known Norm since I think Norm's first writing job was with me. Wow. And I've always loved him, always respected him, sweetest guy in the world, and really a comic genius. I'm sitting cat-a-corner to Norm at the ceremony, and he does not see me come in. And I see him with his boy, and he's full-bore Norman Rockwell on the porch, like Andy Griffith and Opie sort of bad. And it just made me laugh. I said, it's all framing, isn't it? Because Norm's such a surreal genius. And then I saw him in a whole different guise, and I said, my God, look at Norm being normal. It's just a country cornflakes commercial or something.
Norm Macdonald was going out to a big audience. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was a dedication on Hollywood Boulevard for someone who was getting their star, but it wasn't Norm Macdonald. Norm was just there to support him. And I happened to be there, and I can't remember whose star it was. but Norm's standing there, and he doesn't say this to me. He says it to another buddy, and they announce Norm Macdonald, and the whole boulevard erupts, in applause. And he looks at his buddy. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "I'm only good at one thing, and I hate it, but I'm about to do it." So, I mean, he's such a he's like, "I hate doing this, but the only thing I'm good at."
He used to call into my radio show, which I just found out it was opposite of yours, and he would call in. He'd say, "Dennis, I want to do some puppetry." I hadn't talked to him in a couple months. I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, I got some new puppets, and the first one," and he would say, "This is Howard. He's a Holocaust denier," and he'd start doing puppetry over the phone, and you'd be thinking, "This is what summoned Norm to call me, a friend, after 3 months."
That is so classic.
This bizarreness.
All right, I know you got to go. You have a dinner at 7:30.
With the great Bo Derek and John Corbett. They just walked by my car. Timmy, please call my publicist. I'm with Laurie Jonas. I'd love to sit in with you for an hour just to jam.
That'd be great.
But
That'd be great.
I do have this dinner. That'll tell you what a long, strange trip showbiz is, folks. I'm going to dinner with my wife, Bo Derek, and John Corbett, and I always think, geez, to think that I would ever meet the guy from Northern Exposure and a girl from 10, much less have dinner with him. It'll show you how much fun it can be if you just don't take it too seriously, but take it seriously enough to know that you meet some interesting people along the way.
And real quickly, this will even throw another wrench into it. Please tell Bo Derek I apologize, but I once publicly called her an a-hole, and she'll tell you the story.
Oh, geez, I don't know that I'll bring that up. But I might sit on that.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Take care. All right, there he goes. Dennis Miller performing live at Levity Live in Oxnard this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, in preparation for his next stand-up comedy special. It'll be in June. That's great. We got to call Laurie Jonas. I know Laurie, and have Dennis come in. Man, if he came in for an hour, I mean that would go right on top of the the best of pile for the show. That is pretty cool. Dennis Miller, everybody. All right.
Tim Conway Jr. Weeknights at 6. KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.